Yeah, we're live.
Bias Bros is filmed before a live studio audience.
That's kinda true.
Right?
Yeah, we're live. Kinda.
I mean,
Bias
it's
Bros
not
is
really a
filmed.
studio audience.
But it's people,
Yeah.
you know, and they probably exist.
All one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like that guy.
Yeah, totally. J Beebs is awesome.
Yeah.
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 Thank you, J Beebs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Let's just, the rest of the episode will just be us going, yeah.
I feel like we need to do a side podcast called Yeah. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody says something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Bias Bros, the show where everything's made up and the points don't. Oh, wait, no, that's the other one.
Done that joke so many
I know,
times.
I know, but it was the first one that popped into my head, and I just had to run with it. You know, it's what else are you gonna say?
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll become original, but that day is not today.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Everybody, thank you very much for joining us. I am Jay. With me, as always, is my brother Devin. Devin, say hi, Devin.
Whoa.
Hello, everybody. And they just did the. Let's just launch right into what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just released on HBO just earlier this week, maybe last week, but I think it was earlier this week.
I think it was like today or yesterday.
It may well have been. I don't remember.
As of time of recording.
As of time of recording, yeah.
43,000 BC.
The reunion of Friends. They had the whole cast of Friends for a reunion. It wasn't an episode. It was,
which is, I think, was the most disappointing part for me personally.
Yeah, totally.
And that's
even if
it was like 15 minutes, I'd have been fine.
Totally. And that's not to say that it wasn't fun and enjoyable and, you know, intriguing. But yeah, I thought it was going to be an episode. Like, What are they doing after all this time? Right. But no, what it ended up being was kind of a literal reunion. Everybody's hanging out, talking about the show. You know, they had, we'll get to that later. But we thought that it would be really fun to check that out, talk about it here on the podcast, and then launch into our Judd list, which would be top 5 favorite sitcoms. Now, I don't know about you, but I had a problem defining sitcom. Because I think everybody thinks of, sitcoms like, King of Queens or Friends, Seinfeld, something where like it usually takes place in an apartment complex or like, at their home. There's a laugh track and just their goofy neighbors that show up. And like, that's kind of the idea of a sitcom. But really all sitcom really means is situational comedy. Right. So Simpsons is a Family Guy is a sitcom.
Right.
They're like, it doesn't have to fit that laugh track, sticky sitcom-y vibe to be a sitcom.
Right.
So I have a few that don't quite fit.
I think for once you have the bolder, more risky list. Not because I didn't take that into consideration. I think mine, like, I talk about my favorite sitcoms enough. I think folks just know my list if they've heard this show.
Probably. There's only one that I'm worried might be on your list. Maybe 2, like 1.5.
Do you have extras?
I don't. This is the one day that I don't have extras.
I don't either.
I whittled it down to a very specific 5 sitcom list.
So who do you want to go first?
Why don't you launch first? We'll see how this pans out.
Okay.
Why don't you take all of them?
Yeah, it's the
whole
top to bottom list. Okay, let's get probably the most obvious one. Oop, and I just clicked the thing and moved it. There we go. Let's get the most obvious one out of the way. I talk about it on this show and on the 5D podcast Mondays at 7 all the time.
I'm glad you got that out early. Yeah. Can I guess? Can I guess what yours is going to be?
I'm worried that if you guess, you're going to hit another one on my list because, again, these are mostly really safe bets for me.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Do it. I'll just change what I'm talking about and pretend like it was that one the whole time.
I don't even know if this would be classified as a sitcom, but I'm going to say Degrassi Junior High.
Absolutely not a sitcom.
It's not a sitcom? Okay.
That is a teen drama.
It's a teen drama. Okay.
What?
Because you talk about it so often, like I didn't know if that was going to make your list, and I've never seen it, so I don't know what the tone of the show is.
No.
Okay, it's a teen drama. Okay, fine.
You don't.
Then I know the other one.
You don't.
Then I know
get
what it is, but I'm not going to guess it.
17 seasons of sitcom. It's not how that works.
Friends did 10.
Yeah, that's fucking like half again and more for teen drama, because you could do way more teen drama than sitcom. How much did here? Look this up. Well,
how many? What's Simpsons on?
Simpsons
and South Park.
Oh, is Simpson late 20s or early 30s? I want to say Simpsons is like 32, 33. South Park is, of course, behind that because it didn't start as early as Simpsons. I think South Park is in early to mid 20s. But the one I want you to look, actually, I want you to look up two for me.
Okay.
How many seasons did Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie do? And actually, let's throw in I Love Lucy as well. Just because I legitimately don't know. While you do that, let's pull up my first graphic. This should be really obvious.
Well, Bewitched. Oh, do you want to do that first, and then we'll talk about this later?
I'm pulling up a thing. Stretching for
time. Bewitched ran for 8 seasons.
Wow, way less than I thought. But at the same time, like that's a pretty chunky run.
Oh, totally. I Dream of Jeannie only ran for 5 seasons.
Okay.
And what was the other one you wanted to look up?
Let's look up I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah, you
well,
do.
this one's going to be fun because there were different incarnations of I Love Lucy. There was I Love Lucy, and then I think before that there was the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. So I don't know. Whatever I find, I don't know if it's going to be including both of them or not, but we'll find out. It keeps bringing up the theme song. I don't want the theme song. I just want the show.
So the top pick on my list, it's up on the screen for folks. It should be obvious for anybody who, especially folks who follow the 5D podcast, because both me and Eduardo pretty
Mondays
much.
At 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Both pretty much watch the show on repeat. Scrubs.
Yep, that's the one that was going to be on my list.
So I suppose it could be argued that this is more of a dramedy.
Totally.
And I buy that, but I really think, especially in the early seasons, they were leaning really heavy towards something kind of sitcom-y, especially with the cutaways and interstitials. And what good sitcom doesn't have some hard
level
drama?
It has to have some heart, yeah.
You know, like Friends. Absolutely,
totally.
had drama. Seinfeld had a fair amount of drama in it. Seinfeld's probably the lightest of them as far as drama goes. Probably a little more like focused on the comedy, but no, Brady Bunch had issues and drama and down points. And
I've always thought that you lean more heavily on drama in comedy than you do drama. Because, I mean, yes, it's funny. Yes, it's lighthearted. Yes, it's fun. Yes, the goal is to make you laugh. But it still has to be based in a world of truth. And if you're not, like, if you're playing for the laughs, you're not going to get the laughs. Like, you have to play the scene. You have to play off of your, your co-stars and what have you. Like, you have to be taking the emotional tones of the scene seriously to make it funny.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and it's the same for that. Like, I can't do straight drama because, to me, except for my teen drama shit, love me some Degrassi, because that's melodrama. It's not actual drama. Actual drama, I feel like gets grating because, like, I feel like it's just around going like, doesn't this feel bad? Where in a comedy, the drama can hit you. And Scrubs is a perfect example. If you've never seen the Brendan Fraser episodes, literally just watch like the 2 or 3. I think it's a 2-episode arc. It might be a 3-episode arc with Brendan Fraser in there, and you can actually pretty much watch it out of context. You could probably just watch those couple of episodes and largely understand what's going on.
Totally.
Like it wasn't like Seymour in Futurama. Once we're all having a good time, it makes the bad time hurt so much more. That is why I love a good dramedy, because it's this great, like, aren't we having fun? I killed the dog.
Yeah.
Well, fun. No. like, it's crushing, and I love that. I love watching that life get choked out.
I don't know that I don't love it because I feel miserable when it's happening,
Yeah,
but
you
it's
do.
the fact that a comedy, like especially with Futurama, the fact that an incredibly ridiculous, goofy cartoon comedy can sneak up behind you and just stab you in the gut
Yeah,
over the dog.
as an honorable mention, let's talk Futurama for just a second because
Sure.
there's another really brutal episode that I feel like never gets credit.
Which one?
I cannot remember the name of the episode, but it's basically the episode where Fry dies. They go and they're
God, I
trying
don't
to
remember
deliver
that.
something. No, dude, I've talked and I own it. This is not a Mandela thing. It's downstairs.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I
No,
have it on
no.
disc.
I believe you.
But a
I just
lot
don't
of
remember
people,
it.
no, most people don't. Most people I tell about this episode go, I don't know that episode. Excuse me. I wonder if maybe it wasn't aired a whole lot or something. But
For this very reason, I'm sure.
it is a heartbreaking episode. They go to deliver packages and are caught in like a giant wasp hive.
Okay.
And Leela is about to be stung by the wasp, and Fry dives in front of it and gets stabbed through the heart and killed. And he dies.
Geez.
And the rest of the episode is everybody trying to deal with Fry's death while Leela keeps seeing a ghostly Fry that is haunting her and keeping her up. And everybody thinks she's going crazy, and she's
As you
just
do.
getting more depressed and convincing herself she's just going crazy. And Fry, the ghost, seems to feel bad, and he just keeps begging her to wake up. And what it is at the end, he did dive in front of that thing. That all happened. But it just missed his heart and still stabbed her, and she got a dose of bee venom and has been in this coma the whole time, and he has been sitting by her side while she's in this coma, begging her to wake up. So it goes from sad, and then we get into even more sad. It's such a good episode.
Oh, man.
So good.
All right.
Yeah, no, and a great sitcom. Futurama's fantastic,
Totally.
especially if you like Simpsons. I actually like Futurama more than Simpsons, if I'm being honest.
Totally.
I do prefer it.
And his third series, what is that?
Disenchanted?
Disenchanted, yes. That's
It's-
really funny.
It's fun. It's definitely not as good as Futurama.
But it's still really funny.
I will say it's probably fresher than Simpsons at this point. We're still slowly watching through all of the Simpsons.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think we're a little over halfway. Wow, that's a tiny image for my next one. Folks are ahead of you in what they're seeing right now. So we'll next up on my list. This is another one that goes on repeat in my house pretty often. Not as often as Scrubs, but this one comes up a lot. It's total filler. You can still catch it in syndication. That 70s Show.
Yeah, that one almost made it to my list. But I left it off specifically for you. You're welcome, sir.
I absolutely love this show.
Totally.
Again, it does fall into that dramedy, especially later on as the cast grows up and...
Sure, but I think it's a little closer to what everybody would think of as a sitcom than, say, Scrubs.
Absolutely. The ensemble cast is excellent, and that's shown by so many of them going on to do much bigger projects. Plus, Kurtwood Smith is gold. Deborah Jo Rupp is fucking gold.
I still love that story that Kirkwood Smith went into the hotel that Eddie worked at one time. And he goes up and Eddie's, he's being professional, like, okay, well, here we're checking you in, etc., etc. And before Kirkwood Smith walked up to his room, Eddie asked, I'm sorry, I have to ask, how often do people ask you to call them a dumbass? And he says, I get it all the time.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But no, just honestly, it's a top-down amazing cast. I actually really liked her. Rest in peace, the girl who played the original Lori.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was such a tragic story.
She was so good on that show.
Yeah.
Though. She played such a bitch.
Yeah.
Just such a loathsome pile of shit. I loved Donna's parents. Bargain Bob was... I love Bargain Bob. And her mom, shit, why can't I think of her name right now?
Oh, I can't think of it either.
I think...
Penny You keep talking. I'll look it up so we
And
can
also double
resolve
check,
this.
did she pass away?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I thought I heard something about it. Yeah, but yeah, just a top-down show. And
Midge.
Midge.
Okay, Midge. Good pun.
Yep, there it is. There it is. That's thrown around in our friend circle way too much.
I know, right? Oh, she did pass.
I thought so.
Oh my God, she
Recently-ish.
died. She died this year. She died on January 4th.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm sad.
We
shouldn't have done this episode. Oh my goodness.
I really like the whole cast. It's very unfortunate that, and when I say unfortunate, don't take me the wrong way. It's unfortunate that we're seeing what's coming out of the whole Danny Masterson situation. Unfortunate because I loved him as a performer. Not unfortunate that something bad is happening to somebody who allegedly did bad things. And again,
right.
I'm all like, and I'm glad this is going to court. I don't like it when it's the cult of the internet that ruins somebody. I'm glad this is going to court and it can get actual justice.
Absolutely.
And if he did it, fuck him. He's a great actor, but that doesn't redeem him as a person or mean that I want to watch him in anything further.
But when you see something like that happen to like an artist that you enjoyed watching, you do or anybody really, like even if it's somebody you know personally, you still go through those steps of grief.
Yeah.
Even though they're not dead, you go through the and the first
they might as well be.
Then the first one is what is it? Denial. So like you kind of instinctively want to go, what? No, come on, really? No. And the fact that they're still with us, you can kind of prolong that stage. You know, if they're dead, you kind of eventually have to move on to the next step.
I'd love to see what's going on with his brother too, because not on my list, but total honorable mention.
Yes.
His brother's very famous.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Honestly, probably should be on my list, but I tried to throw a couple of smaller curveballs in here, which is probably the only reason it's not on my list. But
it would have been otherwise.
Malcolm in the Middle, the actor who played Francis, it's clearly not Danny Masterson, but fuck, I can't remember his first name right now. Jorge Masterson is what I'm going to go with. Definitely born Jorge Masterson. My dog's freaking out right now, bro. You okay, sweet girl?
Christopher Masterson.
Yes. No. Way long, total aside thing. That
went on a whole tangent on this one.
That 70 show it's just really solid. All of the characters are very likable. It doesn't even do any major cast shakeups until the final season.
Right.
Which is weak. But
yeah, I know.
I did.
That was the one where Eric left, and they like find some new guy, and they're still hanging out in Eric's basement. And
Eric leaves, and then partway through the season, Kelso also leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they do eventually shift from going into Eric's basement all the time. Fez and Kelso first have an apartment together, and then Kelso moves out and Jackie moves in, and a lot of it takes place in Fez and Jackie's apartment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And may I just point out that the first two items on your list both have a Kelso. Who's got two thumbs and doesn't give a damn?
Bob Kelso.
Bob Kelso.
Yeah, you're right. My third show doesn't have a Kelso. So this one was shorter lived, and I actually gotta say, so this is one of my curveballs. It's one I don't talk about a whole lot, but I've definitely mentioned before. I think it only did 3 seasons, and actually my wife and I were just talking about this. We've never seen all of the second or any of the third season of this. It was one of those ones where the time slot moved around and it was pulled up and down off of streaming services, and it got wonky to try and watch it. But the first season is gold. Anybody who's looking at the screen right now, god damn it, the cast of this is gold. When I say it, I want you to pull it up so we can talk more about the cast, because there's some names I don't know. Suburgatory.
Oh, right. You were telling me about this, and I never had the chance to actually sit down and watch it.
Dear tap dancing fuck, the writing on Suburgatory was so good. First of all, the main girl is gold. People, I can't think of her name right now. When you pull it up, let me know. But folks would know her from the new...
Was it Jane Levy?
Yes, Jane Levy.
Okay.
People would know her from the 2013 Evil Dead reboot, which she is fantastic in, and that
Oh,
movie is
right.
so
Yes.
underrated.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. It is not a bad film. It's not a remake of Evil Dead. It's a total reimagining. The 2013 Evil Dead is great.
It's really good.
So this also has Alan Tudyk, which
Yes.
anybody who knows me knows I fucking love Alan Tudyk.
Because he's a genius. Hands down, period.
Truly.
Also, Jeremy Sisto.
I don't know who that is.
Jeremy Sisto, people might know him from stuff like, oh goodness, he was in Clueless. He was in.
So he plays the father, and he
Yes.
is solid in this as well.
He's also from Grass Valley.
Is he really?
He is indeed.
Good for him. Anybody who gets out, much credit.
Right?
So I want to say, is it Bryce Dallas Howard?
Let's see, the actor,
Actress.
yeah. I don't see that name coming up here.
No, I thought that was okay. I'm gonna have to pull it up.
There's Bryson Barretto.
No. Okay, hold on. I have to yell at my dog really quick. Ripley. No. She's gotten so she sits. Ripley. No.
Who's your good dog, Ripley?
She's sitting in my office with me more these days, and she's used to listening for the doorbell, but my office is in the front of the house, and now when any service truck pulls up to any of my neighbors' houses, she thinks somebody's going to ring the doorbell, and she gets all excited.
Gotcha. Okay.
Go lay down. Good girl. Oh, dogs. So let me pull up her name then. I could have swore that was
I'm glad I could help.
There is a Bryce Dallas Howard. I just don't think it's her, and I'm probably crossing two people.
Maybe. Yeah.
Here, you look up Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay. Welcome to Bias Bros, where we do research in front of you.
Hey, we're learning things together. It's like the Magic School Bus.
Yeah, except we're not driving a bus and flying into people's colons or whatever
Cheryl
they do.
Hines. I don't know why I thought she was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, okay. Bryce Dallas Howard was the gal from like Jurassic World and.
Damn it! Yes, they're both blonde, and that's as close as I got. I don't know why I confused those names.
Goodness.
It's all I got. I have no idea why I confused those two names. I got nothing. No good excuse. But it's Cheryl Hines, and Cheryl Hines is fucking hysterical in everything. If you're not familiar, look her up. She's done a few other sitcom-y projects like this that she's really great in. She's in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's in that movie RV.
That was fun. I liked RV. That was one of Robin Williams' last flicks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what I really liked, and this another honorable mention, almost made my list. It only did one season, and it deserves so much more. Son of Zorn.
I haven't even heard of that.
Son of Zorn was so funny. It's basically a sitcom about a warrior from those old like Hanna-Barbera cartoons moving to America and raising a kid, except he's still animated.
And everything else is not?
Yeah. Well, things from his world still are as they come over, but yeah, they're those barbarians from that place where people are cartoons.
All right. I will check that out. That sounds goofy.
And it has Tim Meadows.
Oh, yeah.
So Zorn has a regular...
He doesn't do enough.
Zorn has a regular human wife who he has since divorced, but they have a half-cartoon son. And Tim Meadows...
Oh, God!
Tim Meadows is the stepdad, and he's just trying to be supportive, and he wants to be friends with Zorn, but Zorn is, like, blood sworn to hate him because it's so good. And
I will look this up.
She plays the ex-wife. Cheryl Hines is great. It's also got Ali Grant. People would know her from Weeds. She plays Celia Hode's daughter and like friend to Shane for a long time. It's also got Rex Lee, who people would know from Entourage. He played Lloyd, the assistant to Ari Gold. And then it's also got Carly. I don't know if it's Chaikin. Chaikin. Chaikin?
Okay.
I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. Get a easier to pronounce name. But she, Mr. Robot, I think, is the one where she really put her name on the map. She plays Darlene in Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot's really good. It's finally a show for people who understand computers that talks about computers. It's not like fucking CSI where two people get on a keyboard to hack faster.
Right.
When
Yeah.
they talk about IP addresses, it's actually used correctly. Dear
Right.
Christ, yeah, no, watchable show. Really liked Mr. Robot. Didn't finish it though. I definitely
What?
need to catch up.
What? Just to course correct. What was your actual list item?
Suburgatory.
It was Suburgatory. Okay. Explain the show, because you've told the only line from that show I know is like the Halloween episode. What are you supposed to be? I'm a sexy mushroom.
So it's all about a girl who's kind of more like city streetwise, like big city, who moves out to the suburbs, but like gated community suburbs.
Okay.
With her dad after her dad's I can't remember if the mom passes away or if they're just divorced. I can't remember.
But she's not in the picture.
Yes. So they move here, and she's just sort of the odd girl out, and it's about her trying to survive. But I gotta say, the show is actually made by Chaikin. That
Sure.
Her character is like, she's basically the generation raised watching Paris Hilton.
Oh, okay.
And she just nails it. The girl has no clue what's happening outside of what she is doing at that moment in time, and it works so well.
Nice.
Alan Tudyk plays the dad's like smarmy dentist best friend who convinces him to come out here, and yeah. Now, the show is gold. I really wish I could have finished it, and I hope people aren't like, oh, fuck, he hasn't seen season 3. He doesn't know how bad it gets or something. But from what I saw, it really, for me, it put Jane Levy on the map, too. After that show, I was like, this fucking kid's going somewhere. She's really good.
Nice.
And Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist? Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist is really good. I don't even like musicals, and that show's really fun.
Musicals are fun, dude. You need to get into
except
musicals.
they do that thing where they all start singing for no reason.
Singing, yeah. The music is fine. It's lovely.
Sure.
I don't care what you have to say about it. Damn it.
Okay, you start just singing in your daily life and see what the fuck happens. What I like is the show this show gives a reason for it. She has a superpower.
Okay.
There's nobody else with superpowers, but in Zoe's, suddenly she just sees people break into song and dance, but the person who's leading the song is sort of singing a song about how they're truly feeling on the inside.
Okay.
And so they start calling them heart songs, and that's her thing, is like and apparently she blanks out while she does it, and people have to kind of like shake her awake, but she sees people singing out their heart songs, and they don't know she's seeing that.
Since we're on this topic, can I just point out that the musical episode of Scrubs is beautiful?
It's my least favorite episode.
Really?
Of Scrubs.
Oh my god! Come on! I love that episode.
Oh god,
you're a terrible person. That's got to be what it is. You're just wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm like the millions and millions of other people who fully don't fucking understand the point of musicals.
They're just amazing. That's what the point is. The musical episode of Buffy, I have the soundtrack for that episode, and I listen to it regularly.
It's got 2 good songs on it.
It's got a bunch of good songs on it, man. Walk Through the Fire is awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the 2. Okay, the other one on my list. So this is the one that's probably the biggest curveball, but this is sort of what you were talking about, leaning into that definition of a sitcom.
Okay.
Regular show. It
truly
is a sitcom cartoon for tweens.
Yeah.
Older kids to tweens.
Right. It wouldn't be for like the younger generation, but yeah, no, tweenish.
And teenagers. And stoner adults.
And the stoner adults who grew up with it. Yeah. Like you.
And I'm gonna rush through so we still have time to do your list and more stuff at the end. But yeah, regular show, I've talked about it a bunch. It's a fantastic sitcom by definition, and still holds my title for greatest series finale of all time. Hands down, no question.
We know this about you.
And then finally, the last one. I'm surprised this wasn't the one you were guessing when you were trying to guess my first one. I talk about it all the time. I made you watch it. It is quotable. It is rewatchable. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah. God, I didn't even think about that one. Should have been on my list.
Oh, God, I didn't put up
And it didn't even
graphics
occur to
for my
me.
last two.
That's all right. You failed. You're fired.
Yeah.
Next week on Bias Bros, it will be somebody else.
It'll be him and a turtle.
Yeah, I'll be talking
It'll be
to
the guy who played.
I don't own a turtle. I have to buy a turtle.
On Entourage.
Yes, that would be fun. Can we do that?
Probably. I don't think.
Let's set that up.
Yeah. No, How I Met Your Mother. Like.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that show. It's quotable. It's memorable. It's rewatchable. Again, It's one of those ones. There's not an unlikable character. Even like reoccurring guests and stuff. Ranjit is fantastic.
Which one was Ranjit?
Their limo driver who keeps showing up every time they get a fucking limo.
Every time he shows up, I just got excited. Like, Ranjit's here.
Yes. And that's just how the show, the Robin Sparkles bits still make me grin ear to ear to this day. It brought back Neil Patrick
Think
Harris.
about the beaver. It did kind of revive Neil Patrick Harris, didn't it?
And
I mean, that and Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. But like, which are kind of the same character, but also at the same time, not at all. And I love that he's, he is who he is, and he's like, no, I'll play not that too. I'm an actor. He's just here to take roles, and he's good at it.
Oh, he's amazing. Did you see?
It.
He did. You don't like musicals, so sorry, but he hosted the Tonys a couple years back, and they did this big. Oh, look this up. Anybody watching, look this up, because this is the most amazing piece of theater I have ever seen in my entire life. He rehearsed this whole opening number for the Tonys, and it is beyond my capacity to explain it to you. It is amazing. Way too many quick changes, amazing dance numbers, mind-blowing entertainment in the span of like 3 minutes. Please go watch it.
He's one of those dudes who gets more interesting the more you learn about him. Joe, he also has his own Muppet studio, and he also is like one of the primary like operators of the Magic Castle at this point. Neil Patrick Harris is such a fascinating person.
He is a gem.
And just like that 70s show, let's go down the list of like careers that were launched out of this, but Colby Smulders has gone on to do several different shows, not to mention landing the role of Maria Hill in the Marvel movies.
Yes.
Jason Segel has gone on to write and direct several different movies that did very well for getting Sarah Marshall.
And speaking of Muppets, like he was a big contributing factor into getting more Muppet movies made.
And now he's actually focusing on dramatic work. He doesn't want to do comedy. He wants to show that he has range. And I haven't watched it yet, but he's got trailers out for, it might even be out by this point. He's got a newer one coming out. I don't know the name. Look it up. Jason Segel, new show. Kind of looks like a mind-bendy sci-fi mind thriller kind of trip. I'm super into it.
Okay.
And then Allison Hannigan, who's Allison fucking Hannigan. The only one who I would say didn't take off would be, is it Jeremy Ratner or Jason Ratner?
The lead guy.
Ted.
Yeah.
It's fucking Ted.
Ted.
But he is still getting work.
He's still done, yeah.
Yeah, Ted's still doing tons of stuff. I don't think he's had another, like, as big as How I Met Your Mother hit. And I feel like a lot of people do give him the Ted stigma. He doesn't deserve it. He's a good actor doing other shit.
Totally.
But
like, Ted was a piece of shit, but the actor's fine.
Well, as far as we know, who knows? Maybe he's dating these guys. But
let's hope not.
But yeah, How I Met Your Mother. Great show. Let's do your list.
Fair enough. I'll just throw this right out there. Scrubs was at the top of my list because
how could it not be?
For that very reason, it was hysterical. The characters were quirky as all hell. I love quirk. And I think that's the one unifying thing that all of the items on my list have is quirk.
Dr. Cox and Bob Kelso sell the fuck out of that show.
Yes, they do. But everybody does. Yeah. Like, yes, they all draw their focus. They'll all draw the focus at points, but not one. It's a true ensemble show because not one carries the show. Like, yes, JD, like he is kind of the main character, quote unquote, and he does a lot to, preserve the continuity and, carry the show. But everybody else holds equal time. They are all as interesting to watch, and even the smaller and side characters are amazing. Ted, God rest him, the actor passed to last year, I think it was might have been my favorite character just this milk toast. Let the train run me over. You guys be happy.
I still think his
Character.
best bit was when they were doing
The coffee?
interior monologues
Yeah.
for a bunch of openings, and Ted grabs a coffee and his mind is screaming, but his face is blank.
He ordered a coffee, and his internal monologue is, "Oh my god, they forgot to give me the paper sleeve that goes around the thing that protects my hand." So like in his head, he grabs the cup and he's like, "Oh my god, it's so hot!" But his face is just deadpan, as Ted's face always is, and he doesn't break stride. He passes by the garbage, drops the coffee without drinking it into the garbage, and continues as his internal monologue dies.
Yeah. We got to move on, but last one on Scrubs. I
Okay,
also love the real life friendship of Donald Faison and Zach Braff.
And
like,
they have their own podcast.
Yes.
Fake Doctors, Real Friends.
Yes. But like they really did become best friends on that show, and it's
Yeah.
actually the same for Psych. Dule Hill
Yeah.
and fucky McWhite guy. I don't remember his name, but not Zach Braff. I knew his name until I needed to say it, but yeah, look up Psych and then look up that guy and then they're friends. Okay, next one on your list.
Fair enough. The rest of, I think the most, it doesn't matter. Dinosaurs.
Okay.
Going way back. Dinosaurs was a show that I watched a lot as a kid.
Not
I
Mama.
had not the mama. Yeah. It was a show, literally a show about dinosaurs, a sitcom about a family of dinosaurs, Allosaurus, as
But
they don't
big
really say.
puppet dinosaurs.
Yeah, big puppet dinosaurs done by the Jim Henson
Okay, I was
Company.
gonna say, was it Jim Henson?
It was Jim Henson.
Okay.
It was, I mean, I was young when I watched it, so I was really just entranced by the baby, because the baby was the funny one.
Yeah.
You know, and the puppetry and the magic of it.
Mhm.
But I grew up and I had I owned the first season and got a chance to sit down and rewatch it, and it still kind of holds up. Like, some of the jokes are very 90s, but it's still as amazing to watch as anything Jim Henson is. And the fact that the Jim Henson team got together and did this not just for one big extravagant movie, but did a show on a weekly basis and put these things together in such a unique and colorful and beautiful way. And the characters were just, they're dinosaurs, but they were the average Joe construction worker dad, the kid, it was an American family that everybody could relate to, but dinosaurs.
I'm looking up really quick.
Do it.
Which came first? Okay. I actually had it backwards, but I can see the influence on it. I'm willing to bet they were able to do this in a TV show because of the Ninja Turtles movies.
Actually, the guy that played the son, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Robbie was the actor that played Donnie in TMNT 2. Secret of the Ooze.
Corey Feldman. That was
not Corey Feldman.
That was
no.
the first one.
Yeah, the second one.
Just thinking of those eyes and the mouths and how everything looked and moved.
Yes.
I knew whichever one came first. I was betting it was this one, but apparently it was Ninja Turtles. I absolutely think that having done that movie is really what enabled them to do this show.
It's possible, because they developed the technology for the movie and hey, we have it. Let's use it towards this.
Yep.
That kind of a thing. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But right. Awesome show.
Yeah, no, good memories of the show. Very depressing ending.
Yeah. The ending was a little rough. But I mean, how else was it going to end?
Sure.
If you watch Titanic, you know that the boat's going to sink. If you watch Passions of the Christ, you know he's going to die at the end.
Wait,
watch a show about dinosaurs, there's going to be a meteor involved.
Yeah. There should have been one involved in Theodore Rex. Okay, next on your list.
Cheers.
I didn't know you watched Cheers.
I loved Cheers. I still haven't finished it.
How dare you?
I know.
Every episode.
I think it was when the coach dies.
That's was season 2.
I know, and that's when I start to fall apart inside.
There's 9 seasons of Cheers.
I know. And no, it wasn't season 2. It was 3 or 4.
You keep talking. I'm going to fact check. Okay,
Double check on that.
There's 11 seasons of Cheers.
Yes.
Go on.
But Cheers was a lot of fun. I got to sit down and rewatch that show about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe closer to 3 years ago, and I had only ever watched parts of it as a kid because my dad, our dad, was really into it.
End
so
of 2, beginning of 3. So
okay, yeah.
We're same bracket.
Yeah, see, go to hell. Right. And I got a wild hair up my ass, and I said, well, let's just start watching Cheers. And I really just didn't expect much, and I fell in love with it. The characters are fun, and it was really like it was kind of like the I want to say it's the predecessor to like Always Sunny, like a bunch of people hanging out in a bar. You know what I mean? Like that versus the antithesis of Friends became Always Sunny. But Cheers was so much fun. They did so much on a very small set. Like they hardly ever go off of the set. Like,
no,
they're always in the bar.
To the point where it wasn't until I actually sat down to watch the show through straight that my mind put together that the whole thing didn't just take place in the bar. They do leave often enough, and most episodes they take a break out, but enough of the show is there that, like, just looking back, having been a casual fan before, I actually thought, man, that whole show takes place in the bar.
Right. Like the bar becomes its own character, really. Yeah. It was just a lot of fun.
You want to know what actually truly really convinced me to sit down and watch all of Cheers? It's 2-part.
Do it.
One was Huzzahs.
Who?
The script that I was working on, Huzzahs. I'll tell you more about it.
Oh, yeah.
That was part of it. But honestly, it was a bit in Adventure Time. The Ice King, really early on, before he gets his cover your ears. Take your headset off. So the Ice King, before he gets his powers, is struggling with keeping his humanity, while the crown he gets slowly takes over his mind. He's doing this dumb dance, and I'm doing a very serious bit right now, and he doesn't get that. So he's trying to maintain his sanity, and this thing that kind of locks him down to remembering his humanity is singing the theme to Cheers, and it is fucking heartbreaking watching a character slowly lose his shit while singing the intro to Cheers and desperately clinging to his humanity. I'm gonna give him the thumbs up. Put him back on. You can put him back on. Just put him back on. Now, I realized it was going to be a pretty big spoiler for you to say that out loud. But yeah, there's a bit in Adventure Time where there's a direct Cheers reference.
Don't say it. I just covered my head.
In the show, there is a direct Cheers reference at like an interesting moment.
Fair enough.
Where I was like, damn, I should watch Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah, great show. Again, not a dislikable person on the cast except for the guy who was talking shit about was it Rhea Perlman? Rita Perlman?
Rhea Perlman.
There you go. Yeah. Do you know that whole story?
Who was this an actual actor?
Yeah, so in the first couple seasons she has a husband who
I remember
real
that.
life was a radio DJ, like that was his day job. And I guess he was going on a show and talking shit about how much he hates working on the show because he has to kiss that gross troll.
Whoa, dude.
And she was like, yeah, fuck this guy. So they cut down his number of episodes until eventually killing the character off.
I vaguely remember them killing the character.
Yeah, that's why. Because he's a
Holy
dick.
cow. Forget that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
ever do that.
I don't care how you, like, she could, like, I don't know her. And this is not me, like, I'm just saying, hypothetically, she could be a stone cold bitch. She is still one of the main characters on a highly watched show that you work for part-time. Keep your damn mouth shut. I don't care how you feel about her. Unless she is doing something wildly inappropriate, keep your damn mouth shut.
Yep.
You don't have to like your coworkers.
Nope.
Just show up to work.
Oh, so you've been to my work. No, I'm kidding.
You're right.
My other favorite Cheers story, did you ever hear how Chris Clavin came to be? Is it Chris Clavin? Clavin. You know what I'm talking about, though.
I think it's Freund Clavin.
It's definitely not.
Freund Clavin!
The way his character came to be is I think he either auditioned for Norm or for the coach character. I don't remember which. But they were like, hey man, we really like you, but we don't feel you're a fit for this. You know, we're really sorry. If anything else opens up on the show, we'll bring you in, but we don't think you're the best fit for this role. And he was like, okay, well, hey, who's playing your bar wise guy? And they were like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, come on. You know, every time you go to a bar, there's some guy who's always got to rattle off facts. Like, he basically made a character and sold it to them in the room. And they were like, yep.
This is Cliff Clavin.
Clavin. I was so
Chris
close.
Clavin is a singer.
Oh.
But Cliff Clavin is
see how I would fuck that up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so yeah, he like in the moment
he just invented his own character.
He sold them on
That's
this thing,
awesome.
and that's where it came from. And he is one of the best goddamn characters. He's so pathetic.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's good.
Love
I wouldn't call him pathetic. He's fun. I was a huge fan of the Magician, who also just recently passed away.
Oh, are you talking about the Con Man?
Yes, the Con Man.
Yeah, I didn't know he passed away. That's unfortunate.
Hold on, let's see. Con Man. We're just gonna keep googling. Yeah. Why not?
Well, my actual hero though is Norm. Norm is living my best life. I want to have a bar where I walk through the door, the bartender goes, "There's Devin," and is getting a beer ready for me because he knows what I want. That's what I want. I just want to walk into a place and be served and never have that drink hit the bottom.
I am Norm at our local bar.
You live walking distance to a bar.
I live walking distance to a bar, and they see me, and they immediately start pouring my drink.
God damn it.
But no, the actor's name is Harry Anderson. He did just pass away, about 3 years ago. So It's been a little bit. But he was also my favorite character on It. He played Richie Tozier.
Yeah.
And he was an actual magician. Like, when he stopped acting and performing, he opened a magic shop in, I think, New Orleans.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, like that was his shtick when he, that was his main gig after he was done acting. But no, that was his thing. He actually did magic, and they just wrote it into Cheers.
Okay.
And he was fun.
Yeah,
great comedic timing, that guy.
Yeah. And quick shout out to Frasier, the spinoff of Cheers. Super good.
Oh yes, for sure. We got to wrap this up because we still got we're not even gonna get to it. I'm going to put these two in the same title, The Munsters and the Addams Family.
Okay, I'm going to pull up the Addams Family.
Do it. The Munsters was a ripoff of Addams Family, but they both kind of, they struck that chord with me, and this is the tone that I've carried with me the rest of my damn life. They were weird and unapologetically so.
Yep.
Like, they did their thing. They didn't give a damn what anybody else thought. They just lived their damn best life. And not to mention just the suddenly unappropriately dark double entendres.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The movie was what got me onto that. The Addams Family movie. Yeah, for sure. My favorite was the thing about I'll buy a cup of lemonade if you buy a box of my Girl Scout cookies. Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, those sudden dark twists they did with their language, that really was what captured my interest in those two shows.
Well, and what sold me on Addams Family was here were like these people who looked like you and me wanted to look when we were like, we were like rock and roll metalhead kids.
Totally.
So here were these guys in like all black playing with weird shit, but they weren't evil. It was one of the few times that somebody who looked like this wasn't depicted as evil. They were just creepy and they liked weird shit. Yeah. And it was like, that was us. We were never bad.
We really never
fights. We didn't fucking do a bunch of drugs. Like we just liked.
We did a moderate amount,
But that was never in school. We did that well. Never like early in school.
No.
Day. But we were just like kind of just weird, kind of creepy kids.
Right.
But just because like we liked weird, creepy shit. That's just who we were.
Exactly. And that was like, the show was great, the comedy was great, but the message was what resonated with me the most from those two shows. It was just like, your aesthetic is your own aesthetic. As long as you're a good person, it shouldn't matter.
Plus,
they were all good people. Like, they were nuts.
Our age, a weird way to have a crush on Christina Ricci for the rest of our lives.
Oh, well, I'm age appropriate, man.
I still think she's older than you.
But I mean, my point was, like, when I was growing up watching that movie, I did have the biggest crush on Christina Ricci.
This long.
No. Well, I'm not saying I'm still like, hey, that Wednesday Adam. No. But yeah, Christina Ricci. I grew up with a crush on Christina Ricci because of Addams Family. Absolutely.
I did the same thing for Hilary Duff.
Right now, we talked about that. Okay, and last, let's just throw this out there because we got to move on. IT Crowd.
Oh yeah, good call.
IT Crowd. You watched that first, and I've seen bits and pieces, and then I eventually sat down and watched it all the way through, and I regularly would guffaw, laugh out loud. It is so hysterical.
And it's only 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's very short. Not a whole lot, and they're British seasons. Yeah. They're very short episodes. It's a very quick watch, and it is so fun. The characters are very distinct. Not Moss. Who's the other dude? The main dude. Roy is so. He's you. He is you. He is just tired of the stupid questions. He just wants to go home and get a drink and do something nerdy, and that's it. Yeah. Oh my God. Who gave Jan the internet? They convinced the girl that the internet is a box with a button on it, and that's the internet. Yeah, IT Crowd consistently cracks me up, and I'm really glad they didn't bastardize that by making an American remake.
They did. It only did 1 episode, and it had...
Well, it was a pilot.
It had Joe McHale as Roy, but it still had Moss as Moss.
It still had Moss, but it didn't take off, so
no.
I'm happy with this.
Yeah. All right, are we up to our main topic?
We got 8 minutes. Yeah, 8 minutes to talk about the...
a little over.
Whatever.
Friends Reunion.
First of all, were you a fan of Friends? Because I think you can really either go to, like, people either really enjoyed it or they, like, hate Friends. Like, there are people who hate Friends as unwatchable garbage, and I don't get it.
I probably wasn't into it at the time, though I'd seen it because our dad watched it. Like most people did. You know.
That was the thing to watch.
Yep. So
your dad's a basic bitch.
Pretty basic.
Yeah.
But, so we had seen it, and I had never disliked it then. It just wasn't like a must-watch TV kind of thing for me. But when it did first come out on Netflix, me and my wife were like, this is just too big of a cultural thing.
Yes.
To not generally be aware of it. And I did walk away from watching it as like, yeah, I get why that was culturally very fun and relevant.
Yes.
And actually ages pretty well,
except
for the fact that they seem to think that 95% of New York is white.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Other than that, it holds up pretty well.
For sure.
Which, and again, it's a 90s show. Most 90s shows looked at the world as...
It was very whitewashed.
Largely being white dudes.
And that's not... I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the way it was. I'm glad they're fixing it.
Yep.
They're fixing it.
Yep.
Not fast enough, but they're fixing it. But yes, at the time, it was very whitewashed. But you're right. The comedy and the tone and, the discussion topics, they do translate relatively well to modern. Like, it still holds up. And I got a chance to rewatch it, I think, at the beginning of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. I might as well watch Friends. So I sat down and I ran through Friends and for the first time watching all of it. And I was pleasantly surprised with how engrossed I was in the characters.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. Characters like Joey and Xander from Buffy are they were my comedy archetypes that I look to. Like, these guys are goofy and they're fun and they're silly and they're like, whatever else. And it wasn't until like that's kind of how I modeled my sense of humor. And it wasn't until years later I realized, oh, wait, they're funny because they're the asshole. Like, they're the butt of the joke. Like, they don't realize they're stupid.
Yep. Hate to break it to you.
I know.
Where without even realizing it, I suppose I'm more of the Chandler who's mocking you with a smile on his face, and that's what makes it okay.
No, you really, really are. Absolutely. But, okay, so the show, love it or hate it, I enjoyed it. You seem like you enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah.
I guess
it held up better than Seinfeld only because just
sure.
about every episode of Seinfeld I went, this could be solved with a cell phone.
Sure.
Where Friends, sure that like that bit existed, but most episodes, no, it wouldn't have been fixed by
one of my favorite moments in Friends was, so there's this, every sitcom has this, like, where they meet and they always meet in the same place over and over and over again, and like you think like realistically you wouldn't be able to sit in this same seat. Like Seinfeld did it. They always sit in that same booth all the damn time. And Friends, they always sat on the couch. They always sat on the couch, except for one episode they show up and somebody else, like just some extras, are on their couch and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen.
Like it was just How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, right. They did the same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So I love that they made fun of themselves as a sitcom. I thought that was fun.
So
but
the reunion. How did you feel about the reunion?
Well, I mean, like I said, like I found out before I even started watching it that it was going to be an actual reunion, not a reunion episode. Right. So like I had already kind of gotten over that. But I thought it was really fun to see. I mean, there's always that morbid curiosity, like, oh, what do they look like now? Oh my God, they're old.
Well, three of them look like plastic, and 3 of them decided to age gracefully. So
right, for sure. But whatever you decide to do to your body,
it's your face.
It's your face. I don't give a shit. But it was fun to. It was fun being a fly on the wall and watching them repace their steps and like refine their place on this set, because they rebuilt the set. Like they put them all back together and like they're just like, oh my god, oh I wonder, do they still have this here? Or like oh we got this, like they were just revisiting and remembering and kind of walking down memory lane. It's gotta be like, and we got to watch it home. Absolutely. That was a lot of fun. I gotta say, my favorite moment didn't come until at the end of the show, and this isn't a spoiler or anything. When they did their last episode, they, like, everybody on the cast and crew like signed the flats, the set walls. They're called flats. Signed the flats, and like there's like just scribblings all over it, and it was really fun because when we do shows up here in Nevada City at a place called Off Broad Street. We're gonna be doing a show in end of July, so come and check it out. At the end of every show, we sign the wall of the dressing room. So they have this big stone, not huge, but the stone dressing room, and there's just scribbling all over the wall. And so like that was cool. Like, oh, you guys sign the walls, why not? Like I connected and I related to this. Like that was kind of fun.
Yeah. I would have actually preferred more of those bits than the James Corden sit down and talk bits. Nothing against James Corden.
No.
And there were parts of those bits that were fun, but I actually preferred
Janice showing up.
Yes. But I preferred when they were playing the trivia game with each other.
That was fun.
I preferred watching them talk about being there again. And then I actually did like the interviews with the writer, director, producer folks.
Those were fun.
Those were great, just kind of learning about how the casting went and how that process went. And
I really enjoyed, so like Friends was kind of known for their bloopers, because they like there's bloopers on all of the DVDs. You can find them on YouTube. They're super funny bloopers, because like they really became solid friends, and they just played with each other.
Donald Faison and Zach Braff, but it was the whole cast.
They just played together, and like they would do a take and they would flub, and they would do a take and they would flub, and then they would do a take and Chandler would what's his real name? Matthew Perry would just like, hey, well, we're already fucking this up. You know, like
they'd make fun of each other for fucking up the last 2 takes.
Right, exactly, yeah. But and those are always fun to watch. Like I love a good blooper. But what's really fun is they showed some behind the scenes cuts that weren't necessarily bloopers, like Matt LeBlanc. So there was that whole it wasn't a character arc, but they had a couple episodes where where Joey was in a sling because he was jumping on the bed and he fell off the bed. That was written in because he dislocated his shoulder while filming an episode, and they showed that scene, and not just that scene of that episode. They showed the outtake of him screwing up his arm.
Yeah.
And they had a couple other, like, you know, these aren't outtakes or bloopers, you know, like they're not funny. It's just like, hey, this is what happened on this day. Those were fun because you don't get to see those very often.
Right.
You know, just like, hey, we're working on a scene, or we're, you know, whatever. It was just like being a fly on the wall of a set.
Yeah. One of the things I did like that I actually didn't realize, and you just brought it up with Addams Family, but I didn't even rewatching it as an adult, I didn't put this together, but they're absolutely right. The Lisa Kudrow character being this like acceptable weirdo,
yes,
making it okay to have that friend who's a little fucking eccentric that you don't agree with, but like
totally,
they're still your friend.
Absolutely.
That was
well,
really
they had
cool.
Who was it? Lady Gaga.
Yep.
Came out into the Central Perk set and sang "Smelly Cat" with Lisa Kudrow, which is just genius.
It's very strange, but whatever.
Very strange. But no, but like it was Lady Gaga that was like, hey, you know, like, thank you for being that character that was like, you know, it's okay to be your awkward, goofy self. Like, you don't have to make sense. Just be you.
Yep.
And that's it. And she really did speak to that. Of all of the characters, Lisa Kudrow's character, Phoebe, was that eccentric one. Like, just be yourself. It's cool.
I actually still, to this day, in my brain, there was the running episode. It was Rachel wants to go out for a run, but she doesn't want to be seen running with Phoebe because Phoebe flails her arms and runs around. And, like, me and my wife go on walks a few times a day just to keep with exercise, and I have to, like, mentally restrain myself from running around with arms flailing, because why wouldn't you just run around like that? Come on, it's gotta be a lot funner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it was really cute, but it's not what I wanted.
That's fair.
I would have,
but it was still fun.
I would have preferred, if not a new episode, and although they did speak to why they didn't do a new episode, I personally don't agree.
I must have missed this. Did they mention why they didn't do?
Yeah, so they asked Lisa Kudrow if she'd ever want to do a movie or a continuation series or like a one more episode.
I remember that.
And she said, well, the writers said that they gave the ending that people wanted, and so to come back, you have to unravel some of that and take it back or break it.
Yeah,
because that's the only way to have a plot. And first of all, yeah, fuck y'all. Sometimes shit don't work out and it gets bad. That's just called writing. I'm okay with unraveling. Like, it doesn't hurt me to unravel some of that and tell a new story, because that's life. It's been 20 years, y'all. Shit unravels. But
I get that.
even beyond doing a new episode, I think doing a table read of an episode would have been really fun. And yes, they did little bits.
Oh, that would have been cool.
They did little bits of a table read, but I would have...
But they were all the episodes they had already
They did this
done.
with Scott Pilgrim. They did, I think Parks and Rec did one. Like, during COVID, a lot of old shows got together and did just a table read. Community did one. Donald Glover came back for it, which, like, even they were like, he came back. We didn't think he was going to be here.
He's bigger than all of us now, and he came back.
But I really do think, like, a table read would have... It wouldn't have been 2 hours, and it still would have been real fun.
I think that... I agree. Maybe not for the same reason you disagree, but I think it was... They found a good ending. They wrapped it up nicely. It was bittersweet, but it was complete. And they didn't need to... Like, it was done. There was no reason to expand further. It was fine where it was. Let it be. That's the end of the story.
Here's what I'm going to write their fucking reunion episode right now.
Write a spec script.
I got take it. Please just take this and do it. I don't care. Steal it. Because I got it, bro. Okay,
what is it?
So you open up on a funeral parlor, right? And
don't do Jesus, dude!
Stop! Shut up. So, you open up on a funeral parlor, and there's a casket in the middle. And one by one, characters start to show up to pay their respects, but you never say who's in the casket. And maybe a couple people are running late, or, like, just, oh, fuck, it's gotta be Joey, he's still not here, or whatever. Everybody's reminiscing, they're catching up, what have you been doing, where's this guy at, why is this... So slowly, we're telling stories, we're updating, but we're not sure who's in the casket. And then if you want to keep it safe and you don't want to kill somebody off, you make it fucking, Gunther, or
I was gonna say make it Gunther.
Jon Favreau's character, or like there's a bunch of people that could absolutely be in that casket that wouldn't be any of your main six. Like Ross or Rachel.
So the episode isn't necessarily about what they're doing and where their lives have taken them and whatever else. Like it's just it's almost like a bottle episode for all the episodes between the finale and now.
Yeah.
Like, what would have been those episodes? That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Fuck. That's not a bad idea.
You got Twitter? Fucking tweet them.
No, dude, just write the script.
Do you know how many scripts I'm working on right now?
What's one more?
A lot.
But no, that's not a bad idea.
All right, I think unless you got more.
No. I think we've bored them to tears enough. If you want to be, I was going to say if you want to be bored some more, but that wasn't nice. If you're interested, please go check out the Friends reunion episode. It's on HBO Max. It was a lot of fun. If you're a fan of Friends.
If you're a friend of fans.
If you're a friend of fans, then go watch the Fans. No, please go check it out. It was a lot of fun. And on that note, we'll play you out. Everybody, my name is Jay. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Jay Barker's Voice. You can also find me online, www.jbarkersvoice.com. You can also find me coming up at the end of July performing at Off Broad Street in Nevada City. Please come check it out. It's going to be fun.
And I am the friend of fans. You can find me 5D Podcast Mondays, twitch.tv/metagame network, or YouTube. I always fuck this up, so I'm just going to pull up the screen that I left it up on, youtube.com/5D Podcast. That's where you can find that one. Tuesdays, they're still doing the Smorgasbord Night. That's on twitch.tv/metagame network. And I believe they are simul-streaming youtube.com/5D live. That is a bunch of guys playing video games together. And then this show, which I'm not going to plug because you're watching it. And that's all the things that we do.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bye.
No one